6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi, assisted by Sanjay, and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. A meeting between all government health trade unions and the Minister of Health is to be held today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is to visit Uganda to attend the non-aligned summit. A team of senior IMF officials visit Jaffna. India to donate 20 locomotives to boost Sri Lanka's rail network. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena inspected the rain-hit Galkanda Ampara road. An independent body to manage public debt. In foreign news, Ukraine says it shot down Russian A-50 spy plane. And in sports, the second T20 game will be played today at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. A meeting between all government health trade unions and Health Minister Ramesh Padirana will be held today. Discussions will be held regarding the demands of the health trade unions during the meeting. Secretary of the Health Ministry, Dr. Palitha Mahipala, said that this meeting will be held as an initial discussion to manage the demands between the Ministry of Finance and the Treasury. The Secretary requests all health trade unions to call off the strike and continue treating the patients. Meanwhile, the health trade unions say that they will participate in the meeting as a team, but they say that they will not call off the trade union action until their demands are met. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is to visit Uganda to attend the non-aligned summit scheduled to be held in the Ugandan capital of Kampala. He is expected to fly straight to Uganda after his visit to Switzerland. A team of senior IMF officials overseeing Sri Lanka's bailout program has toured in Jaffna for the first time under the current $2.9 billion agreement, officials said yesterday. Led by Peter Brewer, the International Monetary Fund Senior Mission Chief for Sri Lanka, the team last week met with Governor of the Northern Province, PMS Charles, and other senior officials and discussed issues related to economic growth in the province, demining program, resettlement of conflict-displaced individuals, and compensation for conflict victims. They also discussed the educational matters related to Jaffna University, post-COVID operations, and the adverse effect of climate change on the northern region, the officials said. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Indian government has generously offered 20 diesel locomotives to Sri Lanka, a significant boost for the island nation's railway network. General Manager of Railways, HMKW Bandara, confirmed the donation, specifying that these locomotives are being repurchased from India's own railway system. And as India continues its electrification drive, these diesel engines are no longer required, but they remain serviceable. To ensure compatibility and smooth integration into the existing network, a team of Sri Lankan railway experts recently visited India to assess the locomotives. The first step is this collaborative effort is planned for February, when 2 locomotives are scheduled to be imported to Sri Lanka. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena yesterday engaged in an inspection visit to Galkanda area in Ampara. He also inspected the Ampara-Galkanda road, which was severely damaged due to the heavy rain and floods which occurred last week. The minister instructed officials of the Road Development Authority to repair the damaged road without delay. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Veda.
The government has planned to remove the responsibility of managing public debt from the Central Bank of Sri Lanka and establish a separate independent agency under the Ministry of Finance for the purpose. The Central Bank would assist the Finance Ministry in establishing this unit called the Public Debt Management Agency. The proposed PDMA, which is to be formed under the Finance Ministry, is expected to be the sole authority responsible for the management of public debt in the country. According to Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, the Public Debt Management Act is expected to be enacted by March 2024, leading to the establishment of the PDMA, which is expected to be operated by December 2024. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
This is Watchlight.
Health sources say that Sri Lanka has registered 5,428 dengue cases so far in January. According to the epidemiology unit, the highest number recorded is from the Colombo district, which stood at 1,122. The health authorities request the public to keep their premises free of possible dengue breeding places. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Coming up, World News.
In the headlines, Ukraine says it shot down Russian A-50 spy plane. Houthi missile hits U.S.-owned ship off Yemen coast, U.S. officials. Asia's most eligible prince formally marries in 10-day celebration. Ukraine's military says it has shot down a Russian military spy plane over the Sea of Azov, which what analysts say would be a blow to Moscow's air power. Army Chief General Valery Zaluzhny said the Air Force had destroyed an A-50 long-range radar detection aircraft and an Il-22 control center plane. The A-50 detects air defenses and coordinates targets for Russian jets. Ukraine has struggled to make significant recent advances against Russian forces in the southeast. American officials say Houthis in Yemen have hit a U.S.-owned ship with a missile, but no injuries or significant damage have been reported. The vessel was hit in response to strikes by the U.S. and the U.K. on Houthis Yemen, a British maritime security firm says. The Houthis have attacked cargo ships since November. They say these are Israeli affiliated, although the maritime security says there were no such links for the ship. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak told reporters the UK would not hesitate to take further action against the Houthis to protect itself in the Red Sea. Brunei's Prince Abdul Mateen, lauded online for his good looks and military service, has married his commoner fiancée in a 10-day royal wedding. The internet-famous prince revealed his relationship and engagement to young Mulia Anisha Rosna in December. The announcement surprised many fans of the man once dubbed one of Asia's most eligible bachelors. The bride is the granddaughter of an advisor to Brunei's leader Sultan Hassanal Bolkiah. Back to the world news headlines. Ukraine says it shot down Russian A-50 spy plane. Houthi missile hits U.S.-owned ship off Yemen coast, says the U.S. officials. Asia's most eligible prince formally marries in 10-day celebration. And that ends World News.
Development News.
The Urban Development Authority is to finalize 22 mixed developments, waterfront, residential, IT and tourism projects from this year onwards, with another 5 projects still in the process of clearance, Director of Real Estate Management and Development Anura Prasanna of the UDA said. According to Prasanna, the 21 billion rupees in revenue that is to be gained from the investments into these properties is not the final value of the projects. And that was Development News.
Moving on with sports news.
The second T20 game will be played at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo today. Sri Lanka secured a 3-wicket victory over Zimbabwe in a last-ball thriller during the first T20 on Sunday. After a thrilling victory in the first 2020 international of the 3-match series against Zimbabwe, Sri Lanka captain Wanindu Hasaranga expressed confidence that his initial triumph under his captaincy marks a positive beginning for the upcoming T20 World Cup. And that was sports news.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Department of Agriculture says that the mango harvest in this season has increased considerably. The variety of TEJC mango has been cultivated in more than thousands of acres in the island targeting to export. Mangoes are also sold by the roadside by pavement vendors. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. Sri Lanka has published import duties of up to 20% applied to 1,222 items under a free trade agreement with Singapore. The revised taxes are applied from the 6th of January. Sri Lanka usually has a negative list for imports in trade deals. In addition, so-called para-tariffs, such as the Sri Lanka's airport levy as well as an import cess, is also charged from some goods. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department says that mainly fair weather will prevail over the island. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabragama, central, Uva, northwestern, southern and north-central provinces during the morning. There is a possibility of ground frost at some places in Nuwara district during the early hours of the morning. And that was the weather report. Prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. A meeting between all government health trade unions and the health minister is to be held today. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is to visit Uganda to attend a non-aligned summit. A team of senior IMF officials visit Jaffna. India to donate 20 locomotives to boost Sri Lanka's rail network. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena inspected the rain-hit Galkanda Ampara Road. An independent body to manage public debt. In foreign news, Ukraine says it shot down Russian A-50 spy plane. In sports, the second T20 game will be played today at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. Well, with that we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And it's back to Dilshan Dimel on the other side to keep you warm and entertained this chilly Tuesday morning. Over to you, Dilshan, and a very good morning.
Well, thank you, and a very good morning to you as well, Geetanjali. Well, it is really chilly, and yes, we really need to warm up. And some good music will definitely help you keep warm. And also, what about a hot cup of tea or coffee as well to keep you warm in this chilly climate? Well, the time moves to 6:59. Very good morning to you once again. You are with Radio Sri Lanka on 97.4 and 97.6 and also on www.slbc.lk. And well, there was a news item on mangoes, so why not listen to a song that mentions about mangoes. This is Tim Tim with Underneath the Mango Tree.